Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report, and as always, use hashtag Raiders or Super Chat. Get those questions and comments on the show. If you can't join us for our live shows, remember, there is a new feature on YouTube. It's called Super Thanks, where you can send in a question, and every single time you guys send in a Super Thanks, I'll answer the questions for you. So I know that Mark Russmanin, did I get that? Rasmussen couldn't join us live, but he sent in the $10 Super Chat. Mark, thank you, my good man. Brandon Jasper, Mitch, bought a ticket to the Just One Project. Told them to give it to you so we could raffle off and donate it. Brandon, thank you. We raised over $1,000. Samuel, thanks, bro. Cheers to you. And then Ty Davis. At the press conference, McDaniels confirmed that everyone was at practice. What that was regarding was I talked about certain players that were injured in the past. So, Ty, thank you. But, yes, people who did not participate at practice, they were banged up. So always, y'all, join the family. That's what Raider Nation is about. We are a big family. Yes, there's going to be some arguing. Yes, there's going to be some celebration. But I love everyone that comes across this show and takes time out of their day to watch what we do. So hit that subscribe button. Turn on those notifications. And I want you to take some pride in being one of the first people that comes across a Raiders Report video. What do I mean? I want you to join the Noti Gang. Comment Raiders, comment me, comment Noti Gang. I don't care what it is. Just try to be one of the very first people to comment on a video. So shout out to Raiderville 13, Raiders for Life, Tyler, Diego, and Jaime. I see you. I appreciate that you're part of the Noti Gang. And if you want to be on a future show, what do you got to do? Join it. All right, we got Ben Bailey. Where are we on the cap after all these re-signings? So technically, it hasn't been updated yet, which is kind of a shitty answer. I know before the Hunter Renfrow contract extension, the Raiders were at 22.5. The deal in terms of how much money Renfrow is getting has yet to be released as of Tuesday. Also, the contract details of Chris Jones, who was signed on Monday, that has also yet to be released. If I had to take a guess, I'm going to say we're somewhere around 16, 17 million in terms of cap space. Daniel Topchi, he wants the porn stash. If you guys want me to rock a porn stash for the month of June, we got to get to 2,000 followers on Rumble. That's the deal. That's where it's at. We got 200 more to go to, so go to rumble.com/Raiders Report. Christopher McGuire, do you see tight end Foster Moreau having an increase in production under Josh McDaniels, whether catches or touchdowns? I do see an uptick in terms of being on the field. I will say this. Last season, Foster Moreau was on the field for 63% of the snaps. He was used as a decoy a lot, more as a blocker, which is okay. However, I do like Foster's athletic ability. And when you run a two tight end set, which the Raiders are going to run a lot of, Foster's going to get one-on-one opportunities. He might not get to 500 receiving yards. My initial projections for Foster are somewhere around 400 receiving yards. I'm hoping he can get to 4 or 5 touchdowns. And if he can bring in 30 catches, that's a pretty good year for him. The only way he gets more than that, I would say, if certain players get hurt. But when you look at all of his numbers, the numbers will go up. His opportunities will go up. But he also needs to be able to prove that not only can he catch the football, he needs to be able to block efficiently as well. Ruin your stocking. Could the Raiders cut Keelan Cole? You like John Brown and they cut him. You're right. I did like John Brown last offseason. They did decide to move on from him. But the reason why they moved on from him is because they were a lot higher on some other wide receivers, especially Zay Jones. So John Brown was like, wait a minute. If I'm not going to be playing over Zay Jones, I don't want to be on this team. So it was a reason of he didn't beat out Zay. He was unhappy about the situation. He didn't make a team, and then he struggled to make teams the entire year. So was I wrong on that one? Yes, I was. I'd be shocked, though, if they move on from Keelan Cole. At least I hope not. But when I do videos, one of the videos that I do every single year is I do surprise cut candidates, which is essentially when that guy gets cut, everyone was like, shit, that's a big surprise. It's literally in the title. And if Keelan Cole were to get the axe or get the snip, not like our, COO Brett Scott, a different kind of snip, then it would be a surprise cut. So what I want you guys to do is name a surprise cut candidate for the Raiders. Your boy Felix, we should trade for Robby Anderson, late round pick. He doesn't want to be in Carolina. There's been a lot of rumors around Robby Anderson not wanting to be in Carolina. I've seen him, though. I just saw him post a picture 2 days ago, how excited he was to get these new Panthers uniforms. He doesn't want to be there because Sam Darnold stinks. There's not a real good quarterback situation going on right there. And he's put up some good numbers in years past. The issue is this. Robby Anderson also has, I'll say, a cloudy past. And he makes me a little bit nervous if I'm being 100% honest with you. And in terms of being a locker room fit, I don't think Robby would be a good locker room fit. And at best, he would be our fourth option because he's more talented than Marcus Robinson. But at that point, do I really want to bring somebody like him in? If I can get him for a fifth or a sixth, sure. I just feel like Carolina would want a little bit more. What up, B-Ray? Would Larry O be an option for the Raiders? Yes, he would. What Larry's got to prove, though, is that he's in shape because he signed with what? It was the Bears, and then they ended up getting cut because he wasn't in shape. He's a good defensive tackle. He is one of the players that I've mentioned before on the Raiders report. However, it should be Ndamukung Suh should be plan A. From what I've been told, Eddie Goldman is on the Raiders roster as well. There's a few other DTs to at least keep in mind, but yes, Larry O is at least a potential chance. So y'all, we are doing videos over on Rumble. We go live on Rumble. Hell, I'm live on Rumble right now, and if you want exclusive videos over there, well, I can do and say whatever the hell I want. Go to rumble.com/Raiders Report, and if you're watching this live, we're going to make an exclusive video over there. My goal when I started today's show was I wanted to get to 2,000 followers on Rumble. We need 150 more. If we get to 2,000 followers on Rumble, I'm shaving the beard and I'm rocking a mustache for the rest of the month of June. So if we do it today, I got to rock a mustache for 2 weeks. That's embarrassing for me because I have a wedding this weekend and I got to meet some friends and family in late June. So if we get to 2,000 followers on Rumble, beard comes off, rocking the porn stash. I might even rock a Fu Manchu for all y'all. It's rumble.com/Raiders Report. Let's go to Jersey Balboa. What would a defensive tackle that you could see the Raiders trading for? So I already mentioned Daron Payne, and I hate to mention him again, but to me, he's the top defensive tackle that I would say doesn't want to be in his current situation, wants out, and would be a good fit with our team. So for that, I'll say Daron Payne. LI Raider 312, what about trying to get Barkley to out of the backfield, injury prone, but can be productive in the passing and running game? I love Saquon Barkley. Barkley was one of my favorite running back prospects that I have ever seen when he first came out of Penn State. If you want to talk about an athlete, I honestly look at Barkley from an athletic standpoint and say he is the most athletic running back in the NFL right now. But you're right, there's injury concerns, and if you bring him in, you got to pay him $7.2 million. Not that he wouldn't be a good addition, but I'm not going to spend $7.2 on Saquon. And I know a lot of Giants fans, they want like a second or a third round pick for him. I'm not giving up a second or a third round pick for Saquon Barkley. Like the player, it's not going to happen though. What up, Ramos? I heard the Raiders could go with RBBC this season. How does that impact Jacobs? It impacts Jacobs in terms of fantasy football and overall stats, because if they do decide to go to an RBBC, which really shouldn't surprise anyone, it's what we've been talking about for months when the Raiders hired Josh McDaniels. It's what the New England way was always. They brought in a lot of running backs, and they did. They went with a running back by committee. That's what that stands for those of you that don't know. So if you were planning on drafting Jacobs in fantasy, you might want to not take him as high. But I also think from a football standpoint, it's a good thing. It keeps Josh happy. It keeps Josh healthy. And if Josh is healthy at the end of the season, because he looked pretty damn good last season near the end, if he's healthy in December, January, playoffs, that's more important, and that's what a running back by committee does. It also means, though, you're not going to pay anybody big money. So how about this? Josh Jacobs, 2022, how many rushing yards for the Raiders star running back? Just because you're in a committee doesn't mean that you're not the number one guy. Josh will be the RB1. He will lead the team in touches. He will lead the team in carries. He will lead the team in rushing yards if he's 100% healthy. In terms of overall production, though, it does go down because Kenyon Drake gets the ball a little bit more. Zamir White's going to get the ball more. Brandon Bolden's going to get the ball more. So let me know, how many rushing yards for Josh Jacobs this season? Christopher McGuire, what up, my dude? Will Roderick Teamer make the 53-man roster? I know he is suspended at the beginning of the season, correct. However, I think he is a valuable special teams player. Yes, he is. He's suspended, I believe it's the first game of the season. And the reason why I want you to keep this in mind is suspended players don't count against the 53-man roster. So even if you're going to look at the 53-man roster projection videos that I put out in a week, 2 weeks, whenever I do. Roderick's not going to be on that list because of that suspension. So, with that being said, he's a versatile player. I know the Raiders like him, and you have to remember, he was a free agent this season. The Raiders decided to bring him back. All right, what up, Raji? I really think that this is our time, and I'm watching the Chiefs falling apart. I will say this is a good team from top to bottom, but the Raiders are still probably the biggest underdog in this division. I mean, everyone's saying that the Broncos are better, the Chargers are better, the Chiefs are better. Are the Chiefs falling apart? I don't know if they're falling apart. I do know losing Tyreek Hill is going to hurt, but for this team, worry about yourself, take care of business, and go forward. What up, Fred? What is going on with Clelin? Will he get traded, or will he help the team this season? Well, I do know this. Yes, you're seeing a position change, which maybe isn't actually best suited for Clelin being an outside linebacker, because I don't think he's athletic enough to be a true pass rusher in the NFL, but he's also not big enough to be a defensive end or defensive tackle. Is he going to get traded? There's a chance. If there was a team out there willing to give the Raiders a 5th-round pick and take on his contract, the Raiders would do it. Like I'm telling you right now, Raiders would do it. The issue is not many teams want to pay Clelin Ferrell that type of money. So that's something to at least keep in mind. So just, keep that one in mind. Let's go to Josiah. I've been watching you since I was 11 years old, which is 2018. Now I'm 14, turning 15 this summer. Keep up the good work, Mitch. I mean, that's really awesome. I mean, the fact that your parents allow you to watch me, first off, shout out to them. But the fact that you've been watching the show for that long, I really appreciate it. So how about this? You've been watching it since 2011. When did you go to your first Raiders game? Not just you, Josiah, but everyone watching right now. When did you go to your first Raiders game? I always tell people my first Raiders game, Monday Night Football, 2019, Raiders-Broncos. Unbelievable experience. Las Vegas did come away with a win that day. It was an Oakland tailgate. I mean, you can't even put it to words. It was probably one of the best parties I've ever been to. I saw Daniel said 1998. Let me know. When did you go to your first Raiders game? All right, what up, Jad, Florentine, Mitch? What is the plan for Abram? Can we do a package deal for him and Clee for anything? Could you do a package deal? Sure, but again, this is the issue with trades. You don't want these players. What makes you think other teams want these guys? I will say also that Cleveland and Johnathan have had a tough go at it in terms of 2019, Paul Gunther, terrible defensive coordinator. 2020, COVID happens. 2021, new defensive coordinator. Now again, you get another new defensive coordinator. From what I know, the Raiders want to try to make Johnathan Abram work. He's going to be a box safety. They're going to put him up near the line of scrimmage. They're going to put him in run situations. But also for New England coaches in the past, special teams means a lot. Abram, you're going to see him play on special teams more than what you've seen in years past. So I anticipate Abram, I anticipate Clelin Ferrell both being on the Raiders roster. But if you're able to trade them, you're telling me right now if I get a 4th-round pick for Abram and Clee, just a 4th, I would make that trade. What up, Anthony Parks? I was wondering about Ruggs' contract. Don't we get some money? Yes, you're going to get money, but just like Ruggs, just like Damon, there's going to be a lot of different situations that play on. You got to let the legal system do its part. And then once the legal situation happens, then the Raiders will probably get their money. So you're not going to get any money this year. I am anticipating the Raiders see their money in next offseason. What about Punchy33, signed Star Lotulelei? So Star was another player that I actually mentioned on my Raiders Report video on Monday. I actually also talked about him in depth a little bit more over on Local. So yes, Star is a player, good defensive tackle, getting up there in age, but with some of the injury concerns at Las Vegas and the lack of depth at defensive tackle, Star, Ndamukung Suh, Linval, Joseph, Eddie Goldman, all players to keep in mind. This is the off season. A lot of shit always goes down. So to make sure you never miss anything, you can always subscribe to the Raiders Report. And then to make sure you really never miss anything, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. I'm at Mitchell Renz 365. I'll be tweeting out my ideas. I post Instagram stories of the latest news, not just going on around the Raiders, but also the NFL. Plus, if you want to see what happens in my daily life, it's a good way to keep tabs on me. Geno Atkins, interesting name being brought up here by Aaron. So it's funny, I talked about Geno Atkins in lengths last offseason and many seasons because of the Paul Gunther connection. I don't know what the latest going on around Geno is. I know he played technically in 8 games last season, had 1 tackle, barely even got on the field. I haven't heard a lot about Geno. I'm going to do some homework on him, though, because this is an interesting name to keep in mind. In terms of defensive tackles, why take a chance on Geno Atkins at his age when you can take a chance on Ndamukung Suh? Be the way I'd say it. What up, Jed Rowley? Speaking of Ndamukung Suh, what will it take to get Suh? For whatever reason, there was a common narrative on Twitter, and I don't know who started that people think that Suh's going to be $15 million a year. I don't know where it came from. I don't know if some other Raiders guy said it on a podcast or YouTube. And Ndamukung Suh is not getting $15 million a year. If he wants a contract that has 15 in it, it's going to be a 2-year deal. I see Ndamukung getting like $7 million or like 5.5 worth up to $7 million would be how I would project Suh's contract. And if he wants more than that, then no, I'm not going to bring him in. At this point, he shouldn't be looking at money. He should be looking at getting a Super Bowl ring. And if he believes the Raiders can help him do that, then that's where he should sign with the Raiders.